and welcome back. So it's Monday. It is time for Reacts. I'm back in my office. I'm no longer in the Algarve. Therefore, I can actually bring you some more videos. So today I'm doing a Reacts once again for Geoguessr because, of course, that is the bread and butter of this channel. Although I try and do other things and I always try and branch out, that is the bread and butter. Also, a comment that somebody made, yes, with the shorts, I have been using different things. There will be a lot more shorts. I'm actually going to be hopefully really ramping up the editing on the shorts. So we'll see. Let's see how that works. But anyway, enough of the yapping. So today it is Google's AI against Zigzag. So the the video is called Google's AI is shockingly good at Geoguessr. Now, I did some reactions to videos similar to this with Rainbolt when they were almost seemingly made to try and beat Rainbolt. But that was quite a while ago. So just how good has AI got now? Is it the case that it just can't be beaten now? That no human player is going to be able to stand up against it? Let's have a look.
Zach here, welcome back to another Geoguessr video and welcome to a very interesting video today. So recently Google's Gemini AI has gained the ability to watch your screen while you screen share too.
So I've not actually come across Gemini AI at all, other than the really crappy responses that it does in Google. Like the last time I came across Gemini AI, it was telling people that cockroaches could live in your penis. So I'm guessing it's ramped up a little bit better since then.
To it. Just like if you were sharing a screen to a friend on Discord. Well, a subscriber named Jesse recently messaged me and told me it actually works really well for playing Geoguessr with Gemini. So today I'm going to share screen with Gemini and it's going to play a community world on NMPZ. I tested on one round and I'm very curious to see how it goes with a few more. So without further ado,
so that's going to be really interesting. How is Geoguessr going to deal with that? Because if it's a screen share thing, then it's not like somebody's coming off of their screen to look at Google or something like that. So that could be an interesting thing they have to like work on with Geoguessr. Obviously, it's not going to have a massive effect on the bigger tournaments and things like that because you're there. But for the smaller ones, when people like me are trying to get through the ranks, and we're coming up against that, what the hell do you do?
let's hop over here to Gemini, which of course you can try out for free, aistudio.google.com. And from now, my conversation will not be with you guys, but instead with Gemini. So let's hit talk and show screen. Hello, Gemini. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I help?
Excellent. So today, you and I are going to be playing some Geoguessr together. Are you familiar with that game?
I understand you want to play Geoguessr. I am familiar with that game. Would you like to play with the no move option as it is highlighted in the image?
No.
Okay, so this feels like if the Sidemen ever do Geoguessr again, which I'm sure they will because Zerka's now been trained by Zigzag, but this feels like a Harry move. I don't know. I mean, Harry's just good at it anyway, but it does feel like something Harry would do.
No, we're actually going to be playing no moving, panning, or zooming, which means it's a still image. Basically, just guessing the location of a photograph.
Okay, so you will be playing Geoguessr with the no moving, panning, or zooming option selected, which means you'll have to guess the location based on a still image. Is that correct?
Exactly right.
Nightmare.
Okay, here is the first image. I'm not going to be guessing. You're the one who's going to be guessing, okay? So I want to know where you think this is and why.
Okay, based on the image, I believe the location could be in Eastern Europe, possibly in a Baltic country such as Lithuania, Latvia, or Estonia. The architecture of the building, the street style, the type of foliage, and the color palette of the surroundings suggest this. Also, the cars look similar to those commonly seen in Europe. Do you think that's a good guess?
Okay, so that's actually not moved on quite as much as I thought. So again, if you go back to the videos where I was reacting to Rainbow when he did this, there was, I think, there was one of the times that he did it, because I think it was 3 times he did it. One of them actually, he basically has this now. He has to send a picture. It's different, but it literally gives options. So I'm guessing he's about to ask it to narrow it down now, but it's still not moved on. It's still going, well, it's going to be one of these. Rather than going, hey, it's this country, it's still not perfect with it. Which, of course, it's never going to be, well, it's never going to be perfect, Jesus. It's come on leaps and bounds, but yeah, the idea of it being able to just immediately go, oh, this is Latvia, this is Russia, this is the UK, this is Germany, whatever, is not as advanced as I thought maybe it had progressed to.
I do think that's a good guess. Of course, it's up to you. So In Geoguessr, you have to put your pin down on
There
the
we go.
map like I'm
He's
doing
literally
now.
looking
I
for
want
the-
you to tell me exactly where I should put my pin down. Should we go Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, or somewhere else?
Based on the image, and since you asked me to be specific, I would suggest placing the pin in Latvia, perhaps near the capital city of Riga.
Okay, so it
I'm going
does
to place
get
it in
more
Latvia.
specific.
Let's see
but
what score you
have to
get. As an
ask it,
aside
it's
to the
still
people
that.
who are watching, because I'm recording a YouTube video, I initially thought Poland before the AI started talking. Now I'm thinking it's probably Lithuania, but Latvia does seem possible to me. So I'm going to guess now.
Okay, I understand. You've placed the pin in Latvia, and even though you initially thought it was Poland and
I
then
would have gone up
Lithuania,
there, but I wouldn't have
you're
known.
going with Latvia for your guess. Let's
Because
see
I'm-
what the result is.
Yeah, because I'm allowing you to guess. Okay, let's see. And it was Lithuania.
All right, so it turns out the correct location was Lithuania.
Okay, so it had it as one of the options, but again, it is not perfect. So, shockingly good, but not as shocking as I maybe would have thought.
Not Latvia. Would you like to play another round?
Yes. So we're going to let you play again.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's play another round.
A little bit of
That was
talking over
basically-
each other,
hey,
but that's
shut up.
fine.
I'm
Let's see
talking.
what the next image is here. It's loaded in. There's a few things that give away the
No
country
problem.
to
Let's
me.
move on to the next.
There's a few things that give away the country. to
Okay,
me.
I see the new image. The wall. Based on the new.
Well, the one thing that we know is that apparently the Gemini AI has ADHD, so you can't really interact with it. It speaks over you. That's not a great design there, Google. Like it's reacting to an immediate word rather than allowing for a full sentence. Now I know that's probably down to efficiency programming because obviously the computer and the AI just needs the one words acceptance or anything like that, whereas humans don't tend to, at least, you know, in general, don't tend to talk as efficiently, and there's more kind of floweriness to language. So it should be looking out for a pause or something.
Image. It looks like we're in a country in South America, possibly Brazil. The architecture, the landscape, and the general feel of the image lead me to that guess. What do you think about this new image?
Well, what I think about it, I'll reveal once you've made your specific guess. So, where exactly, I'm talking maybe even a province or a state in some country. Which specific province or
It is
state
asking
would you
to be
put
more
your
specific.
marker down in order to get as close as possible?
Given that the country is likely Brazil, I would guess that the specific state is Bahia due to the landscape and the vegetation style. Would you like me to place the marker there?
Yes, we'll go in Bahia. Now, is there anything specifically about Bahia that makes it more likely than surrounding states like Piauí or Tocantins or Minas Gerais?
While the surrounding states have similar landscapes, the vegetation and the style of the buildings visible in the distance in the image are more
Visible
consistent
to you,
with
not so
Bahia.
fucking
Also,
visible to me.
I'm going to assume this bridge is over a river that flows from the interior of the state to the ocean, which is common in Bahia.
Okay, I'm gonna guess Bahia right now. Let's see if it's correct. And okay, you
Okay, so getting a lot more specific there. But again, it's still not like 3577. How close would Zigzag have got? Would he have got 4,500? How close would, you know, the others in the community have got? Rainbolt, for instance, because Rainbolt was the one that I've seen take on the AI before. But, you know, Blinky. Is Blinky getting it closer? I mean, 3577, it's no case score, but it's not great. You know, I nowadays am like, oh, I'd have hoped to have been closer if I get something like that. Now, in Brazil, if I got 3577, don't get me wrong, I'd been fucking happy because it's a big-ass country. However, it's still not impressing me as much as I thought.
We weren't too far away here. It was actually on the border between Piauí and Maranhão there. So 3,000 points.
Okay, that was a close guess. So you are ready for the next round?
Yep, so you're on a one-country streak. We'll see how many countries in a row.
There's actually something I'm thinking here. Because if you're more specific with any AI, the more specific you get, the better the guess, the better the response, everything like that gets. A friend of mine was one of the chief engineers for Copy AI, which is an AI that came out basically the same time as ChatGPT. But the more you give it, the better the response. I'm wondering if Zigzag asked Gemini to give him a 5,000 point response. He set that as it must be within, boundaries, within 10%, actually less than that, within 0.5%, something like that, how close it would get. It has to be scoring in that kind of range, whether it would become more ridiculous or whether it's being more kind of playful rather than exacting.
where you can get correct, all right? Here's the next one. So what are you initially thinking of this image? Which country and which region do you think it will be? Okay, so something went wrong with the AI just then. I'm gonna have to reset.
No,
it.
I don't like that image.
Interesting, guys. Like, beyond the fact that it keeps on trying to talk over me, it is actually pretty good at the game. It's definitely worse than I am, but at the same time, I feel like it's low-key equivalent to a pretty decently ranked player. So it goes without saying, do not use this in ranked. I don't think it would be difficult to anyone.
So far, that first image, I would have gone Eastern Europe. I would have been around there. Whether I'd have been close or not, I don't know. I think I'd have been similar. The Brazil guess, okay, I would have not been as close. But so far, it's not showing me as a brilliantly ranked. Like so far, it's doing better than me, but it's not showing that it's better than me. I hope that makes sense to someone. Like, it feels like it would be in my my level if we're playing Jules. Like, it feels like it would be within close enough to me that I would be put up against it, which isn't exceptional. Like, I'm not the best. I'm amusingly average. Yes, I'm a lot better than I used to be. And thank you to Maya and everybody else that has pointed that out and shown that that is the case, because it's nice. But it's, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as impressed as Zigzag. Maybe I spend too much time around the AIs and things like that because of my friends who are programmers. That's possibly the case.
Anyway, but do not do that. That is against the rules. Anyway, I'm gonna go jump in here again.
And again, absolutely don't do that. You shouldn't be cheating in any way. Do not use a fucking AI for you. However, how are Geoguessr going to deal with that? I really hope that Geoguessr have got something in place to deal with that now. Because the way they seem to be dealing with the issue so far is by asking other people to decide whether someone's cheating or not. Which, even when I've seen different pros look at it, they have different answers. And if someone's worse ranked and doesn't understand the game as well, they might just think a good guess is a cheat. So that's the way it's dealt with it so far. How the hell are they going to combat this? It's something I don't think Geoguessr does well.
See if the AI is back. Hello, AI, can you hear me?
Okay, I hear you now.
He's like, I'm going to go over this again.
Which state or subdivision do you think this is in?
Based on the landscape, the style of the road, and the general feel of the image, I'm gonna guess that this location is in the state of Vermont.
Okay, I personally like that guess. It looks like in the background we have some eastern white pine, so I could definitely see Vermont as a possibility here. I'm gonna make the guess and see how close you were. And it was actually Vermont. So
Great.
How did you get that correct?
Great job on correctly guessing that the location in the image was in Vermont. Based on the landscape, the types of trees, and the general feel, that was a very good guess.
Definitely. Okay, let's see what the next
Again,
image is here.
I am
think
ready.
You should be
Let's see
asking
the
for
next image.
more kind of
Okay, so this is
5,000.
the image. This one's a bit different. What are you thinking in terms of the specific county or state?
This looks like a small town or village in the
It's not
United
the UK.
Kingdom.
So, I think he gave that away. I mean, that is the UK. If this is one of the ones that, oh, it's not the UK, it's actually Northern Ireland, I will eat. I don't have a hat on, but fucking hell. But Zigzag, not intentionally, I'm sure, but just went, for everything else being state, province, everything like that, he said it once the country has been said. For this, he said county or state. He put county first because the UK doesn't have states. We have counties. They're our equivalent to states. We have 48 counties in the UK, 46, 48 counties. So near to the 50 states of the US. But to add county as a thing, when he hasn't been doing that before, because the US has counties, for instance, he didn't ask for counties of Vermont because then he would have got a closer answer. Counties may have given that away. I'm not saying that this isn't an obvious UK guess, but I think that's also an interesting thing when you're dealing with AI when you have the better knowledge, which he does. It feels like that. This seems like up north as well.
Based on the architectural style, I would guess that it is in the southwest of England, perhaps in the county of Cornwall.
He could actually be right. Fuck. This feels very northern. So the southwest and the north, for some things, have a similarity. So here, this kind of house is pretty prevalent in the kind of older counties. And so when I say older counties, I mean the ones that haven't necessarily knocked so many of their buildings down. Those that haven't progressed as fast. So the southeast, London, Surrey, Kent, West Sussex, East Sussex, Hertfordshire, Essex, those kind of counties have made way. Even in the West Midlands as well, have made way for a lot of the houses, but the north and the southwest don't tend to. That's why you can also get, well, in the north you can get a lot cheaper housing because it tends to be older, and the southwest is also where a lot of people retire because there's some reminiscent nostalgia there. So yeah, if I moved around, I'd be able to tell a bit better here, but I think that's a fair enough guess. That is a fair enough guess. I would have still gone north, but could be completely wrong, and hey, it's going to beat me in my own country, I'm sure.
Or Devon.
Is there anything specific about the architecture that would be specific to Cornwall or Devon here, or is it just a vibe?
I see what you mean. It's more of a general vibe. Some of the architectural elements that point towards
don't
that
like the idea
region
of AI
are the use
having
of
vibes.
light-colored stone and the slightly weathered look of the buildings. The relatively narrow streets also contribute to the sense that this is a small town.
Small town, definitely. Weathering, that's a good one. That's, you know what? Yeah, that should give it away. For instance, I've said before, I was just in the Algarve, just come back. I was in Faro, and yeah, there's a lot of weathering in the buildings because you're next to the sea. So the weathering then does give more of a southwest feel in the UK, and that's fucking fair enough, man.
What could you say about the blue and green houses? Because I feel like they're not too typical for the United Kingdom.
That's an interesting point. The pastel blue and green colors of the buildings are not that common in larger cities of the UK. However, these shades are often found in older coastal towns and villages, especially in the southwest. These brighter colors are a reminder
they're
of
in
the
older
seaside
ones.
and could give a hint towards its location.
Yeah, so those buildings exist in Blackpool as well, which is way up from the southwest. So this is where Geoguessr kind of gets more about vibe. And hey, I'm going with the idea that AI is right, but I don't know. Looking specifically at things like that with the buildings, the UK's had them all over. Now, yes, you probably find them more coastal. Blackpool is a coastal town, but it's not specific to an area. Like there'd be a higher my God, the words. There'll be a higher concentration of them, but I've seen those buildings in Blackpool, in Cromer, in Norfolk, which is the other side of the country, in Cornwall, in Devon. Yes, I've seen them. I've also seen them up in Skegness, which is further up north. I've seen them all over the place. So yeah,
I agree. Okay, so I'm going to go down to Cornwall and Devon here, and I'll put you in a town nearby to Plymouth here. Or actually, let's go up towards Exeter. Let's go.
Now, again, I think this is where you have to ask the AI.
Sound okay?
Where?
Yes,
What
Exmouth
town?
in Devon sounds like a
What
good
village?
guess.
Okay, let's guess. And it was actually
Go
all
further
the
on.
way down in the southwest of England. So
Oh my
it
God, it
was
was
actually in the
Penzance.
town.
Now that I should have known. Penzance, Jesus. Penzance, pretty well-known town. But again, yeah, I assumed to be right when it said that. Again, a lot of that, apart from the weathering. The weathering is what gives it away as being someone that's likely more towards the sea and everything. But yeah, I would have gone for that. By the way, please tell me how the audio is. I'm moving my mic away now because I'm thinking maybe I'm a little bit too loud. Because somebody said about as well not being able to hear the person. So do let me know how that's going.
Of Penzance.
Okay, that was a great guess,
Penzance,
even
yeah.
though it was not exactly in Exmouth, but rather in Penzance, which is indeed in the southwest of England.
That was a great result. You're on a
And
three-country
I
streak. You've
gone
gotten
north.
3 countries in a row
well,
correct
and-
now.
unless
Let's see
I
if
was
you can get
moving.
to 5.
It sounds good. I will try my best to keep up with the streak. Let's go to the next round.
On to the next one here. We can see a very different landscape to the last one. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, I don't
about
think we're in the
this.
UK
This
anymore.
image is very different from the previous one. The lush vegetation,
I'm not even really
rice
guessing
paddies,
this
and the
time
motorcycle
round.
suggest a tropical region. Based on
yeah.
those clues, my guess is that this location could be somewhere in Southeast Asia, potentially somewhere like Sri Lanka.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've named Sri Lanka as your most likely country here. Why Sri Lanka and not any surrounding countries? Okay, something went wrong again, guys. That's asking me to clear the stream and start again. But that Cornwall round was actually fascinating. Like, definitely a gettable round for a pro. But I feel like if you're an intermediate player, actually just practicing along with this and actually picking the AI's thought process as to why it's going there could actually be really beneficial for playing. That's
Yes, but again, no, I could only do this for the UK. because I've lived across the UK and traveled the UK. I have family across all parts of the UK. And I'm from the UK, obviously. You're hedging your bets still, and that's Geoguessr, I guess. But I feel like, again, if you're moving, that becomes easier. The weathering is the only thing for me that takes that away from only being the north. But again, it could have been Blackpool. So I don't know. I think actually, for me, one of the better reasons to have gone for the southwest there for that town compared to say Skegness, Cromer, various other places. Although Cromer does fit what I'm about to say as well. It was on a hill. Blackpool doesn't tend to have it that much. Cromer does in Norfolk, so that's still in. But things like that, picking out the incline of where you are, I think is way more helpful. Now, yes, there is more of certain looks of houses for that blue. I think Zigzag over-egged that. Now that the colouring of the brick, that's very useful. Red brick tends to be the Midlands and the North, and over to Northern Ireland as well, for instance, if that was the case. So you can get stuff from the architecture like that. That's definitely the case. Newer buildings are more likely to be in development potentially in the southeast because that's where there's more funds, basically. The older houses far more likely to be up north and the southwest, as I said. It feels, I don't know. I know you're basing it on certain things, and that's the point of Geoguessr. I guess for me, I'm just being very nitpicky because it is my country of origin, basically.
That's the feeling I'm getting here. But let's see if we can get this one. It's on a 3-country streak, which is honestly pretty impressive.
It does feel very. I don't know.
Sure,
This is
I think
not
that
as
the
good as I
image
was
is most
expecting.
likely from the Sabaragamuwa province in Sri Lanka. That province has the kind of lush vegetation, roads, and rural
Now, that's
feel
being way more
visible in the
specific
image.
now. Which
Okay,
is
so
better.
I've zoomed into Sri Lanka. Which province is that?
Okay, it looks like you've zoomed into the Sabaragamuwa province on the map of Sri Lanka.
I'm not sure which one it is.
Alright, I see what you mean. Let's try this. The area has a flat terrain, a bit of forest, and rice paddies. Based on this, I would say that it is most likely the eastern province.
Okay, Eastern Province is your new guess. That's not what you were saying before.
You are correct, my apologies. Should I try again?
I mean, I'm happy to go with the Eastern Province if you think so, though I think it might actually look like the one you originally said.
If you think that is a better fit, I will not disagree with that.
Well, it's up to you at the end. So which one do you prefer?
I'm gonna go back to my
I think
initial
Zigzag's been
assessment
way
and say that
too
the
nice
image
to
looks
AI
more like
here.
the Sabaragamuwa province.
Let's guess that. Okay,
I realise this is
impressive
a
guess.
way
That was
longer
28
video than
kilometers
normal, by the
away,
way.
and your original guess was correct. It's there.
Great to know that my original guess was the correct one.
Okay, we're gonna do another round, okay? You've gotten 4 countries in a row correct so far. Let's see if you can get 5.
I'm ready for another round. Let's see if I can keep the streak going.
That's a very impressive guess, by the way, guys. Okay, let's see the next one. That was a 22,000-point game. And here's the next round. Okay.
It's a 22,000-point game because you specifically picked it. So within the guesses, as I said, he's picking the final place. So yes, AI is saying here in this area, but for instance, the southwest, he picked the exact place. And yes, it wasn't in Penzance. He picked somewhere else, but he also picked where in Sri Lanka. So it's AI's could be saying for a vast region, Zigzag is placing the final pin. So I think he's being way too nice to AI here. I think AI is actually. I don't think it's doing as well as it did against Rainbolt, for instance.
Can you tell me where you think this image was taken?
Okay, this new image shows a road, some palm trees, and a sign that says My Victory Guest House. Based on the vegetation, the style of buildings, and the sign, I think this image was likely taken in Ghana.
What makes you say Ghana as
I think the
opposed
sign
to
should be able to
other
tell you
surrounding
straight away,
countries?
surely.
The specific style of the buildings, the way they are constructed, and the sign look like what I've seen from Ghana before. Also, palm trees are common there. This makes me think it's Ghana instead of another surrounding country.
Okay, given that you think it's Ghana, could you tell me where specifically in the country you would guess? Which province?
Given the image, I would guess that it's the central region of Ghana, since it looks like it's a coastal region with a mix of vegetation and buildings.
Okay, I found the central region. That's this one. I'm gonna go down towards the coast,
It's
okay?
central
Near
to the
Cape Coast.
What?
Okay, so you think the image is from the central region of Ghana, near Cape Coast. Do you want me to confirm your guess?
I think you've got the wrong way around here. You're the one who said it was central region, and I'm the one who confirms the guess.
You are absolutely right. I apologize apologize for the confusion. You were the one who guessed the central region, and I should be confirming, not guessing the province. My mistake.
You're still confused, but I'm going to guess and let's see how close it was. Oh, it was over in the east.
Yeah, AI doesn't even know whether it's Zigzag that's doing the guessing or not. And this is kind of the point. I think it should have been a kind of, I would have said, yeah, confirm it. Tell me where it is. I think some of it has got to go towards Zigzag here.
Okay, but it was
understand.
Ghana.
You got it. It was indeed in Ghana.
5 countries in a row. That's impressive, right?
Yes, 5 countries in a row is a great streak. You're doing very well.
Okay, let's play to the end of this seed, guys. Next one here. What are you thinking of this one, Gemini? I'm curious to see which country you think this is.
This new image has a very different feel from the previous one, with a paved road, a long, modern-looking barn or shed, and a smokestack in the distance. Based on those elements, I would guess that this picture was taken in Austria.
What specifically about this image makes you think it was Austria as opposed to surrounding countries?
I don't know if I'd have said
the overall
Austria,
feel of the image, with the mix of modern architecture and lush countryside, matches what I've seen from Austria before. The way that the barn is built, the smokestack in the distance, and the type of trees are all elements that seem common in Austria.
Okay, now can you please tell me exactly where in Austria to guess?
Can't
Maybe
be far off with this
tell me the nearest big city, and then I'll pick somewhere that makes sense based on that.
And
we
see,
did
that's
indeed break it again. I think it kind of has a limit of 10
This
videos
is
before it turns off.
This
Not
AI
sure if
is
that's 'cause I
very
don't have the
disappointing.
premium version or what, but it is interesting that it's not picking up the Austrian bollards here. I mean, the Swiss bollards, obviously.
This AI is so disappointing. I'm sorry. I think Zigzag is just generally, I think, just nice. But again, the AI has crashed 4 times, 5 times, and it isn't the one doing the picking. Yes, it's going, hey, this region, this area, but there can be so much within that area. Like, you know, even Zigzag said there, it's like, I'll pick something that feels right. So you're the one doing it in the end. I don't know. This doesn't feel like as good as the one that Rainbow came up against like a year and a bit ago. And that, yeah. So shockingly good. It's all right. I don't know. I feel like he's thinking it's better because of the fact that it can talk back. Like that feels like the thing that it's far more interactive. It's way more interactive. And I think I think this is really good if you're training, like he's actually said, like if you're training, if you're trying to pick things out, like using it as a training aid, that feels like a good thing because you can interact with it. In terms of its ability to just play it full stop, I actually think the ones that have been coming out before have been better.
Austria has a red reflector, so it's a completely different bollard. So it really is just going a landscape, which makes it even more impressive that it's somehow guessing the exact place in Sri Lanka. I mean, honestly, for some countries, I could see it being a big benefit to actually practice with it.
It wasn't the exact place, though, was it? That's the point.
Bring
It
it back
actually
up
changed
here.
its mind.
Oh, no! Could you tell me the specific locality you think this image was taken in?
Sure, I can help you with that. Based on the image, it appears to be taken in Switzerland, more precisely in the canton of Thurgau.
Okay, where is that canton located? I'm unfamiliar with the different cantons of
So if it hadn't have crashed, it
Thurgau
was
is
the wrong
located
answer.
in the northeastern part of Switzerland.
Okay, I'm gonna guess there on one of the main roads. Let's see how close it is.
It looks like you placed your guess in the town of Weinfelden. Is that correct?
Indeed, but it was actually just north of Zurich, right on the German border. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see that you were close to the location.
Now, what made you think that that image was not Austria?
The license plates on the cars in the image had a Swiss style, and not Austrian. The building on the right with the large silver sphere is a biogas.
I'm sorry, how the fuck did it see? I'm questioning how an AI saw another plate. I realise that's stupid now, but the fuck? It's not like we could do that. Jeez, especially if you're not zooming.
Plant, which are common in Switzerland.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, how from this distance could you tell that it was a Swiss license plate and not an Austrian one?
Well, when you zoom in on the vehicle's license plate, you can see that it has a white background and a Swiss emblem on the left-hand side, whereas Austrian ones typically use a white background with black lettering.
That's fair enough. Okay, well, that was an interesting round. I was initially thinking it was Austria, so good job on getting that it was Switzerland.
Glad I could help you with that. Would you like to go on to the next round of Geoguessr?
Of course. Here is the next round. I want you to tell me where in the world you think this is, specifically, and also what you think of this blue bridge.
Okay, based on the image, this bridge looks like it is in Europe, possibly in Eastern Europe. Specifically, I would guess that it is located in Hungary. The bridge itself appears to be an older steel truss bridge. Would you like to know if my guess is correct?
Yes, we're gonna guess Hungary.
Would you like to know if my guess is correct? I mean, if you know that it's right or not, that'd be real fucking helpful, yeah.
Could you tell me where in the country it's likely to be, which major city it will be nearby?
Given that it is a rural location, I'd say it is likely not close to a major city. However, if I were to place a guess on the map, I would guess the bridge is located in central Hungary, north of Kerekemet.
Okay, so Kerekemet is this one here. I can't pronounce it correctly, but let's guess as the AI wants to and see. And wow, you were remarkably close there, just 72 kilometers away.
Would you like to continue playing, or do you have any other questions for me?
Let's continue. Let's see what the next image is here. It's just loaded in. This is the new one. Could you tell me where in the world you think this one's going to be, specifically the state or province?
This looks like it could...
Did you hear that? Specifically the state or province. Not the county or state, the state or province. There are things in what he's saying as well. I don't know. I'm really unimpressed. Yeah.
Be in North America, specifically in Canada. Given the architecture of the homes, I'd guess it's probably in the province of Quebec.
What about these houses specifically says Quebec to you, as opposed to maybe Maine or Ontario or something nearby?
The style of architecture is what
feels
suggests
very
Quebec to
Canadian,
me.
doesn't it?
Specifically, the stone building on the right side of the street is common in Quebec. Also, the brick on the other house is also a common construction material in Quebec.
Guys, I think Gemini is right on this one. I'm going to put in the
I
guess.
mean, I would have
That's an
thought Canada
impressive
here
guess,
as well.
Gemini. Let's see if you're correct about it, though. And it
I
was
don't know
indeed
if I'd have said Quebec, but I
I'm
would have
impressed
known
with that guess.
It seems that my
thought
assessment
Canada.
was correct. Would you like to continue to the next round?
I'm just preemptively resetting it, guys. But this is impressive stuff, man. I mean, I think in some regions it's going to be more useful than others for actually learning and whatnot. But regardless,
Well, given that was very clearly Canada, and then you just got to figure out where. It's very impressive for a place that was very obviously that country. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
technology is scarily good.
I'm
that's
real.
for sure.
I'm being real mean here. I know, but yeah.
Anyhow, let's get it back on here. I'm gonna go to 10. If it gets 10 in a row, then I'm gonna be thoroughly impressed. Just to the end of the seed, I suppose. So, let's go.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Oh my god. Just so often.
Based on the image, this looks like it is somewhere in Poland. The specific locality and state cannot be determined from the image alone. Would you like to make a guess based on my response?
Yes, but given the fact that I have to put a marker down exactly where I think it is in Geoguessr, even if I don't know for sure, I
was
like
gonna
to
go,
tell you
near
which
to
locality
Gdansk.
you want me to put it in, even if you can't tell.
Okay, given the landscape, I would suggest a location in central Poland, near the city of Lodz.
Okay, we're gonna guess
Okay,
near
so
Wuchia upon
it's definitely
the
gonna beat me.
request of the
I'd have gone more
AI,
north.
and it was actually.
Oh, Germany. See, when it said Poland in my head, yeah, that made sense as Poland. And this is kind of the point I made actually about the AI. I took what the AI said and went, yeah, that's right, that'd be there. Is the AI doing the same with him? I don't know. I don't know.
Actually in central Germany near Magdeburg there. Why do you think you went wrong there?
My initial assessment of the location being in Poland was based on the flat landscape and the type of trees. However, the specific architectural style of the road and ditch, which is often seen in Germany, was not something I focused on initially.
You ended up with 8 countries in a row as your best score. And out of a possible 25,000 points in this game, you got 22,500 across your 5 guesses. So what could you say
skewed.
about, the way you play this game and why you're able to guess so close?
In the beginning, I focused on broad geographical patterns like flat landscapes and certain types of trees, but I did not give enough attention to details like the road's architectural style, which is common in Germany.
If someone was wanting to get better at this game, what do you think the main places they should focus their efforts on are? Because there are many different ways they could focus their attention, but
them
which
to
do
do
you
the
think are
fucking
the
Mexican
most
United
useful
exam.
and the most high yield?
For improvement in this game, I would advise a focus on detailed observation of specific architectural styles, including roads, buildings, and fences. Additionally, attention should be paid to the types of vegetation in a given image. Analyzing the color of the soil and even the style of street signs or markings can be beneficial in pinpointing a location more accurately.
But I think it's quite hard to work out those things because they have very broad patterns. So it's going to take a long time to learn about the different soils all around the world or the different architecture all around the world. So how would you focus in your attention?
You're right, those are very broad patterns. Focusing on specific regions or countries at a time can help narrow your focus.
Okay, well, thank you for playing with me, Gemini.
You're welcome. I enjoyed playing with you.
Okay, so there we go. That was our foray playing with Gemini. Honestly, extremely impressive stuff. These are the type of guesses on NMPZ that you could expect from someone with maybe a little bit less experience than me, or maybe, honestly, would I have done better in this game? I'm just trying to think. I would have got closer on the Ghana. I knew it was going to be the southeast region. Quebec, I just made my own guess, so who knows where they actually wanted to guess there. On the Switzerland and the Hungary, probably similar guess on Switzerland. Hungary, maybe similar. And then the Germany, I wasn't quite sure. I thought Poland was a decent guess. Also considered Germany or Czechia. This AI is probably playing at like an 1800 level on NPZ, which I mean is kind of scary. As I've been saying, you're not allowed to use external assistance to play this game, so this is banned if you're playing multiplayer. Single player though, eat your heart out. It's pretty fun, and honestly, I think it's great for practicing. If I was like suggesting, okay, if I wanted to learn Switzerland, I could definitely get good insight by sitting down with the AI, I think, and just talking about each different canton and what separates it from the next one. Sometimes the AI has very terrible reasoning, other times very good reasoning, so I guess you kind of have to separate the wheat from the chaff. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Honestly, a good lot of fun in my opinion, and yeah guys, I will see you guys in a video very soon. Let me know if there's
okay. So yeah, I am less impressed. And now when you watch Zigzag in general, he is incredibly nice to a lot of guesses where a lot of other geoguessers aren't. Geoguessr pros, when they're being more honest, and I'm not saying Zigzag isn't being honest, but I feel like he's just not that harsh. I feel like a lot of them will say, yeah, that wasn't a great guess, that could have been better, that could have been better. Like he said there, like Quebec and things like that, he just did his own guess. Ghana he didn't, but a lot of them he just put the market down himself, and I think that's actually, that score reflects a bit of him plus the AI rather than just the AI. It didn't look as good to me. It really didn't. Like a lot of those guesses I would have been able to make. Not all of them. Granted, not all of them. And the last one I would have fucked up. But then would I have thought about Germany if I wasn't being told Poland by the AI? Because that's where my mind went. Oh, Poland. Oh, okay. In that case, yeah, that feels right to this area. So I don't know. I feel like AI score isn't as good as he's making out. And I actually think the AI from the Rainbow videos was a lot better. It feels... I mean, for instance, the Switzerland-Austria one, he shouldn't have given Switzerland to the thing. He should have put it in Austria, where the AI originally said. It changed its mind when it crashed and came back. It very underwhelmed, very much compared to the older one as well. I would have liked to have seen a head-to-head between him and the AI, because I think he would have absolutely crushed the AI personally. I would have lost to the AI. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm as good as the AI in this. I'm just not. But I don't think I'd have done as badly. I don't think there'd have been as much of a gap between someone that is a very average player like myself and the AI as Zigzag seems to be suggesting. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm being very arrogant in that. It just doesn't seem to impress me at all, especially with all the glitches and all the kind of things that are happening in between. I don't know. It seemed to be too much to me. Let me know what you think. Maybe you think, no, this is amazing. What are you on about? Oh my God, this is fucking great. Like, yeah, possibly. I think for training purposes, it definitely makes sense. I think if you're taking an individual country bit by bit, makes absolute sense. Like, we need to break down Switzerland. You go on a Switzerland map, right, let's break down this. Why is this, and get it to basically train you a bit like, you could also probably tell it, train me like Zigzag would, train me like Rainbow would, and you can literally do that. I think that's a very good idea for things like that. And I wouldn't even play it on the kind of normal player games, just literally have it as a training tool. Potentially a way that a lot of people are going to train to get into it now, but yeah, I don't think it's there. I think we are very much in the realms of needing humans still. Now, I'm the UK guess as well. I'm still a bit. There were too many assumptions made. The assumptions are right, but the assumptions could have been very easily wrong. But anyway, I will stop yapping. I hope you've enjoyed that. And I do have, by the way, if you're seeing in the background there's a new book. I do have a new book out. I know it's not really much to do with this channel, but it is called Awaken Awareness, Mindfulness in the Age of Distraction. It's like a proper book. I'll put the description below. If you're interested in mindfulness, mental health, things like that, do go and check it out. But I'll put it up there. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. And I know this is a lot longer. If you've made it this far, for the love of God, go get yourself a cookie. You definitely deserve it. And I'll see you again on Wednesday. Thanks, everyone.